You're with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
Let's walk the talk. Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856.
92.7 and 106 FM.
7 minutes after 9 o'clock. Bonjour, Sanbonani, Dumelang. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Clement Manyathela Show on this 7th day of May. Thank you for joining us here on 702. I hope you're well this morning. Well, I actually hope that you have a better morning than I did. Let me tell you a short story. So, I fell this morning while I was running. I fell this morning while I was running, just after 5 a.m. this morning, and it was quite a fall. Like, it was bad. I know I'm laughing, but I actually have scars. It was dark, and I didn't see the hole on the road. Call it a pothole if you want. So I fell and I rolled, which is fine, right? I can live with that. I made it back home safely. You know what surprised me the most? Nobody stopped to help me get up. I mean, it's 25 past 5 or so, I get it. But nobody helped me up. I mean, some cars were hooting, and I hope they were hooting in sympathy, not because I'm stuck on the road after falling. Some cars were hooting, but that's it. There were two women who passed by, and the only word I heard from them was askies. And they didn't even stop. They just said askies and continued with business while I was on the floor, just after the roll. And I was taken aback by that, because if I was on the other side passing by, I would have helped Clement up. You know, I would have stopped and asked, "Are you okay? Do you need help?" Especially given the magnitude of the fall. This morning, when I told two female producers of the show of what happened, they seemed to understand why these women didn't really help me up. Because I'm a man. Apparently, we are built to go to war, so a little fall is nothing. And I disagree with that, because in that moment, I needed someone to be there for me, even if it's just for 30 seconds, just someone to ask me, "Are you okay?" Or just hold me and help me get up. So why do we only help women and older persons when they are in situations like that? Like when you fall, why don't we get help as men? I don't know. Does this make sense to you? Am I complaining about something that's like ridiculous? Have you ever been in a situation as a man, maybe not a fall, maybe you didn't fall, but you had a puncture or something, and you were left to figure it out because you're a man? I want you to share that story with us. And I think women often wonder why, some women, they wonder why when we get sick, we are so desperate for their care. And they say, "Ratepa, we are crybabies." And I think that's because no one ever really cares about us. Like, and I talk about care, like wellness and making sure you're okay, because we are socialized to always be on the move, and nobody really cares to just make sure, "Are you okay? Can I do this for you?" We are always on the move, and this is my experience. I mean, when I am sick, you know what I do? One of the first people I call when I'm sick is my mother, who is far away in a village in Mpumalanga. I mean, what is she going to do about it? But you know why I call my mom? Because even from far away, she cares, and my mom is going to treat me like a sponge, like a marshmallow. My mom is going to tell me, "Okay, take your pills. Okay, don't get out. Are you warm? My mom will call me every hour to check. Are you warm? Did you eat? No, you have to eat. Oh, that's the most amazing thing ever. And on the other side, it's going to appear like, oh, this is mama's boy. This is a crybaby. You know why we like that? You know why we become crybabies when we're sick? That's because we never really get cared for like that. And I know you've got other ways that you care for us, but sometimes we just want to be, can I be weak? Like, can I fall and you come hold my hand and say, let me help you up. Are you okay? Can I be sick and you just give me medication and you crush my pills for me? All of that stuff. And I know there are some gents out there listening who do that too. Are you getting this? Or am I being a crybaby? Ladies, gogos, mamas, you can weigh in here as well. 011-883-0702. That's the number to dial. WhatsApp's on 072-702-1702.
Clement Manyathela, streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856
92.7
and 106 FM.
Renee, you calling us from Johannesburg. Good morning.
Morning, Clement. Morning to you and the listeners.
Sure.
This is one that I fully agree with you. I'm sorry that you had the fall, but I mean, a number of things could have gone wrong. You know, it's not effeminate to just lay there. You a man. Anything could have happened given the momentum that you were running at. You could have dislocated an ankle, a knee. You could have dislocated your hip. You could have had concussion, broken a wrist. Someone should have just stopped and offered you help. I mean, at that moment, you could have had to go back in the opposite direction, you know, to where you were running to. Someone should definitely have stopped to help you. It's not about being a man. We are all men, and I'm very manly, but no, someone should have definitely stopped to help you. I really feel for you. Sorry, man.
Yeah, look, I mean, yeah, Renee, thank goodness it wasn't that hectic, right? I mean, it was a roll. I do have scars and I limped a bit. I made it home safe, but I think for me, what surprised me is it's just an observation, and especially because I also spoke to women about it. And they were like, yeah, but it's 5:20 in the morning. Like, why stop? You know, I know that if I was on the other side, whether you're a man or a woman, I would have at least paused and said, hey, are you okay? Do you need some help? Another argument I got was, yeah, but it's so dangerous for women now that if women stop there and then they help you out and then the next thing you are going to mark them, take their phone. And I understand that bit because criminals have come up with all sorts of new ways. They can pretend to be in an accident or pretend to be falling only to go on attack. But I'm asking also a broader question here about care for men. Like, do you understand the concept of a crybaby when people end up saying, oh, mama's boy, this one, when he's sick? He's a crybaby when he's sick. Where does that come from? And from my perspective, I think it's because I am so desperate for that care. So I do become a crybaby because I love it when my mom calls me every hour and asks me if I've taken the pills or have I eaten. It comforts me. And I wonder if that gives you the same thing. Like, are you a crybaby as a man when you're sick? Or maybe you're a woman and you've seen your partner become a crybaby in those moments. How do you come through for them? Let me know your thoughts. Bushle, you are calling from Cape Town. What do you think? Hi.
Hi, Clement. How are you?
Good, Bushle. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Sure.
Well, I think this is a really good topic because I've been reflecting a lot on it, and I've been asking people around me, particularly males, about how they feel. And I've said to them, listen, I feel like you guys are raised. It even comes from just being raised in the most dutiful manner ever, to the point where you are completely detached from even just a sense of identity and your own needs as an individual. What you need or what you will need or should need is prescribed as you grow up. It's prescribed by societal norms, by patriarchal norms, and even just small things like treating yourself for men. It's a foreign concept. Like, oh, because you're sad, did you get an ice cream or something? Like, no, it's barely like even a thing, which is quite sad.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a thing.
Yeah.
You bring a crybaby. I think it's very much there, and unfortunately, because of our country's landscape, it's seen as something that's like secondary to other more prominent issues. But it's definitely one of the grassroots issues, I believe, to a whole lot of other problems.
A female cousin of mine, Bushle, said to me the other day, "Oh yeah, I wanted to go for a massage, and guess what?" I said, "What?" He said, "My husband wanted to come with me." Like, why does he want to go for a massage? I was like, hey, bro, men are not supposed or allowed to go for massages. Like, we also want to do massages. And of course, I know there are many men out there or women who understand men can do massages. But it's just a point I want to drive home that even for something like that, it's seen as, oh, that self-care is reserved for women. There are people who look at it like that. And to that point, maybe it's how we are socialized as a society, whether you're a man or a woman. Because there are some men out there who also don't do massages. I know men who just don't do that, and they'll tell you, I don't want people to be touching me. Like, oh, guys, you're missing out. I'm telling you, you're missing out so much. Erica, you're calling us from Crybaby. What are your thoughts?
Good morning, Clement.
Hey.
I would really like to say from the bottom of my heart, and this is really a personal message to you, that I'm very sorry that nobody stopped to help you. I'm really, really sorry. I think, I really would like to speak to you and say, I'm sorry that nobody stopped to help you. It's a sad thing.
Yeah, no, it's okay, Erica. It's okay. Thank you. I'm really fine, guys. I'm really fine. I'm just broadening the chat because I think, because I was reflecting on it a lot, I was reflecting, after I got up from my fall, I called someone at that time to just explain what just happened, because I just needed someone to know what I've just been through. And that's it. I'm really okay. I mean, I'm here at work. I suppose the point I'm making is, after I spoke to the producers this morning about this, I thought they had different views. I had different views. And I thought, let's hear what the other listeners think. I just think that there's a thing there to interrogate about how we help each other on the road. And I know if there was a runner passing, because I know how, runners, we are actually quite helpful on the road. I mean, there's times when I will stop for a bit, not because I'm injured or anything, and there are runners passing by. They will stop and ask, hey, bro, are you okay? Do you need anything? And I appreciate that especially, I mean, when you're training for comrades, we're running at 5 in the morning, 4:30 sometimes in the morning. So you need that comradeship. And that exists. But I just find that, and even when I was at I stayed in Sunnyside when I was studying at the University of Pretoria, and I was mugged twice. Twice my laptops were taken away from me as I was heading to the flat. And you know what happened during that time? Nobody came to assist. In that moment when they were taking the laptop twice on Esselen Street, on the same street. Esselen Street in Sunnyside, it used to be the most dangerous street in Sunnyside. And people were just passing by, minding their own business. So when that fall happened today, I thought, we're becoming a society now that just exists in silos. Like, oh, they're mugging you there? Okay, sure. I mean, I see often clips in the city of Johannesburg where someone is literally being hijacked, and people are just going on with their business. This never used to be the case. We used to rally together. What is going on? We're going to go and chase after that criminal. These days, you're on your own, brother, sister. Sipho, you're in Weinberg. Hi.
Hi, Clement. Yeah, I feel your concern about what happened. The incident happened to you. The way that is not so serious. But we are now becoming a society where it becomes a gender thing, and it also we become people that are sort of men are being to be sort of non-feelers, or the people that have to feel for its women and children. And when we talk into the social section, you find that when this sort of gender-based violence that are happening, they said men are the perpetrators And when you hear on the media about the reports of the wars all over the world about Ukraine and West Bank and all over, they will say most of the victims are men and children, as if men are to be. It's okay when they die; they're being killed. So we turn the society into something that becomes a gender thing. That when you have to feel for other people, it's only if they are women of other genders or they are young. And those things got a detrimental effect to the children that have become the boys that now will be saying, yeah, young children, we including them. But as they grow older, no, you have to take it. On the other side, they won't become a man because of a man is something that is a sort of it's not supposed to be part of the society.
Yeah, look, Sipho, thank you so much for your contribution. I do think that there's a reason why women and children are a vulnerable group in society. There's a reason for that, and I think it is a legitimate reason, and this is my view, and you may disagree. I think it's a valid reason because the world has not been kind to women and children. In fact, men have not been kind to women and children. So I understand why they become a priority. I understand why they become a vulnerable group because they are. We have not been kind as the world, as men, to women and children. So I get that. And I don't want this to be a war between genders. I'm just asking more of a philosophical question, I suppose, of what does this actually mean? And I'm trying to rationalize it. And I'm hoping that through the views that you raised this morning, it will make a bit of sense to me. Not so much about the fall, but so much about how we respond, so much about the expectation that we have for men, right? And some men are comfortable with that expectation. But some men are struggling with that expectation. Some men are struggling with the pressure of, you must always be the one that has the money. You must always be the one that is strong enough because you've gone to war. Let me tell you something. If I'm in a room with you and there's a snake, I'm running with you, ma'am. I'm running with you. And there are some ladies who say, no. You must be a man. Go fight the snake. I'm not fighting any snake. You hear me? A lizard, I'm not fighting any of that. I am running out with you. But society says you must. Who taught me how to fight a lion or a snake? Yeah? Because some women are like, no, go there. Or when they start an argument. If you start an argument, we're in a restaurant and there's a big guy who comes I'm not getting involved. Who taught me how to fight? I don't know how to fight. And some women were like, are you going to sit there and let him talk to me like that? Wow. I'm not getting involved in any physical fights. Michelle, you're calling us from Brent Park. Good morning.
Morning, Clement. I'm just laughing at what you said. Clement, listening to you and your mom and how you will phone her for those words.
Yeah.
I just feel that it says so much about the relationship you have with your mom and how you were brought up. And maybe the men that are like the hard ones and act all macho are the ones that actually didn't get that tenderness from their moms. I can just see the way you speak about it and the fact that nobody helped. I'm really sorry about that. But, our society has become so detached. And I was just saying to the lady when I called that, maybe this is the reason why we're sitting with our GBV problem in our country. Because, men are seen as they need to be providers. And sometimes it's not always the case. I mean, sometimes the woman is the provider in the house. And it's fine. We must accept that. But I do feel there's a lot of pressure put on men. In fact, I was sitting at one of our staff employment equity meetings, and we say that majority of the appointments are female. And sometimes if you look at the men in our company, they're underrepresented. So why are we now not even giving men a chance to get jobs? If you look at the Stats SA, they came out with some stats saying that there's an abundance of women being employed. I think men, in a way, in South Africa are actually being sidelined. And that could be the problem why we're sitting with this GBV problem. You know, men are human too. They have feelings. And we've got to also accept that, and I'm not that type of woman. I don't expect people to open doors for me and whatever. But I just feel that you got to also feel for them.
Yeah.
And then the ones who, and we as moms, we must feel bad to worry about our sons because it seems like we are making them little sissy boys. And I don't care. My son, I will worry about him till the day I die.
Yes.
Because that is my child.
Oh,
you know
absolutely. Yes, absolutely, Michelle. I couldn't have said it better. The pressure. Look at the rates of suicide. Men are the people who are most committing or dying of suicide, dying by suicide. There's a lot of pressure. There are men out there whose wives or partners don't know that they don't have jobs. And they leave home because that would somehow make them less of a man. It strips away your dignity. What kind of a man are you when you have lost your job? So you pretend as if you have a job and you leave home every day in a suit, in formal clothes. Those are realities of men out there. And to Michelle's point, there's this level of pressure being put on men. And nobody says men must not provide. Men must provide, but this is life. Sometimes life throws us these curveballs, and sometimes you just have to learn to navigate. Life doesn't come with a guaranteed job for men. Doesn't come with a guaranteed, wealth for men so that they can provide. They also need to go out there and hustle. Oh, but we fall too. We also need some help to get up. We get sick too. We also need to be helped and taken care of in that moment. And I really, really am convinced that a lot of men out there, when they're sick, because I hear this from a lot of women, including my friends who are married, they always say, "Oh, men who are sick become crybabies." And I think it's because we are just so desperate for that care, because 99% of the time, we must be self-sufficient. We must be providers. We must be strong men who are always ready to defend the family. And that's your moment. When I'm sick, that's my moment to just be and be spoiled. Because how often are we? Hey? It's 9:31.
Your voice,
Your station.
your open line
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
on 702.
It's 24 minutes before 10 o'clock. This is the 702 open line. I'm taking your calls on 011-883-0702. Your WhatsApps as well on 072-702-1702. I was looking at the Citizen newspaper today on page 2. They've got this story about the Twopart retirement system. Apparently, the people who withdrew money last year, 75 of those first takers have withdrawn their money again. Remember, since September last year, if you're a retirement fund member in financial need, you could access a portion of your savings to pay for emergencies or unforeseen expenses from your savings component, and then the balance is preserved until retirement. And people were quick to withdraw money. I mean, billions and billions of rand were withdrawn. And now we're told that 75% of the people who withdrew last year have made withdrawals this year as well. And I wonder if you're one of the people that have done this. My biggest concern has always been that some people are taking out money and that's going to affect how they live after they retire. And they take that money not because they really need it, but because they want to go on holiday and I really think we have to be very considerate and cautious of how we use that money. And if you are someone maybe who took that, maybe you took 30,000 rand last year or 10,000 rand, whatever you were able to access, what did you use it for? And have you taken out money again this year? Are you planning to do that? And what are you going to be using it for? My biggest worry is that we have the lowest rates of savings for retirement in this country. So we don't want things to get worse. I mean, we've got people who end up, they're not a burden because, burden is such a bad word. But there are people who end up relying on the state to be cared for when they are retired or when they are much older. And the state really doesn't have money to sustain, the millions and millions of people who are in pension, in retirement. So let me know if you've taken money last year. Have you taken money this year as well? Have you returned to take out money? And what have you used that for? Was it for something you were in need of significantly? Or did you take it to go on holiday? You took it to take your family somewhere or to, deposit a car or whatever that may not be seen as an emergency. Give me your thoughts on that as well. 011-883-0702. Let's start with your WhatsApp voice notes that have come through so far.
Morning, Clement. The high rate of crime in our country doesn't allow us to help each other, even if we want to. Someone wants to help you, and you're pretending maybe thugs come out from the bushes. It's happening day in and day out. I'm sorry about your fault, but even if people want to help, they don't know who's a genuine victim, who needs help, and who's a crook. Sissy, Soweto.
Hi, Clement. Sure, what you are saying is so sad. But what is so difficult for me is, unfortunately, there are people who fake being hurt, being in an accident, something happening to them on the road, in order to trap someone who wants to help them, to rob them. And so how do you discern when you are a passerby, whether the person is truly hurt, was in an accident, or whether the person is faking it in order to rob you? That is my problem, and it's such a tragic situation in South Africa.
Yeah, listen, and that's why I said earlier that I actually understand it from that perspective. That, it's 5:20 in the morning. It's still dark. There are men who often use this as a trick. They always pretend like they are distressed or they are injured, and then as soon as you give them attention, they mug you. They snatch your phone, they snatch your bag, and they are gone. So I also understand that, and I think that could be the reason why the two women just went past as they saw me roll. I absolutely get that. There was no man who was around. There were people who were hooting. Again, I imagine they were hooting in sympathy because they saw the fall. But the one woman who passed, just said askis while they were passing. But I hear you. It's quite sad because even in society we've had to reimagine how we interact with one another. We've had to reimagine that because, these days, even like giving people lift, you never know. Sometimes even there are some women who work with criminals or women who are criminals who will pretend like they're hitchhiking. They get in your car. Next thing, you are being hijacked. There are people they work with and they tell them, okay, we're coming. Oh, it's so dangerous to be part of this society these days. Bridget, you're calling from Renberg. Good morning.
Morning, Clement. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, the topic this morning, I think just in general, we've lost our moral fiber, as a society. And that's exactly what gives the stories we talk about with regards to crime a breathing ground, because we just are not the same. A little story, a while back, I was dating someone, and there was this storyline on a show called Gomorrah where a character called Teddy was taken advantage of by a woman. And that man was standing by the argument that men can never be taken advantage of. And he argued that point so much. And at that point, I realized it's never going to work, because that is such a sad and worrying perspective to have. And I'm raising a son now, and he's the most affectionate human ever. Like, I have made him so comfortable with kissing, with hugging, that even at daycare, that's actually his...
I love that, Bridget.
All the other kids that are in distress in his class, he's the first one to comfort them before the teachers.
Oh, I love
and
that.
there's so many videos of that. I'll actually email one to you because they always try to share them and I refuse. But it's the most heartwarming thing ever. And I've seen that it's made him more reassured with himself.
Yeah.
That he can function on his own and be independent, but affection is okay and it's there.
It's okay. And don't you have males in your life, Bridget, who are saying, "Hey man, you're raising him like a softie. He's gonna be a softie."
Yeah, they say that a lot. They say that a lot. And one of the saddest things is I've actually made a conscious decision to limit the access to some of the men, even with how they speak to him, because I feel those things get imprinted. To say you're a man, don't cry, don't do this, or boy, and all of that. And I just don't allow that kind of energy. He must never, they say, if you've never, it's a saying something like, if you've never been given love, you lick it off knives, or something like that. I never want that to be his reality, ever. Yeah.
Oh, Bridget, you're raising a full human being. I'm so glad. And that's the approach we need to have to our children. They must be human. They must have empathy. They must be compassionate. And they must be able to cry. They must comfort others. And those are the children we need to raise. And let go of this old idea of raise men to just be tough. Huh? Nonhlanhla, you are in Pretoria. Good morning.
Good morning, Clement. From my side, I have quite a different view to this, especially with my experience.
Yeah.
With my experience, I'll be the one, before I even go there, starting with the fact that you mentioned two women who tried to at least show consent to you. My question is, where are the men? Was it only women driving past by?
No, so there were two women walking. There was no men walking during that time. And in the cars, I didn't see in the cars if it was men or women. I just heard people hooting. But the people I saw who passed me were two women. And one of them said, "Askies." But it wasn't a pause. I stop. It just passed. Hey, Askies, while walking very fast. But again, no, I understand. It was dark. Maybe she's scared that, it's a trick before I mug her. I get that.
And then she had to escape as quickly as possible. That is true. But then my other point is that with the fact that you say you call your mom and your mom will be taking care of you, being concerned. I'm a mother. Yeah. I'm a mother of 3 currently. And everybody who is sick is my responsibility. And wait until I get sick. I gave birth with Caesar, all my 3 children. And honestly, if I had to look back and see who was there for me, even during that time after giving birth, no one was there for me. And the house would be full, but everybody seems to be interested in the baby and life moves on. But whoever came to me and be like, "Are you okay? How are you holding up?" That thing, I don't know. As much as we are putting it on men, I think in life problems are problems. They are not jealousies. Because with my experience, I'm also longing for that let it be somebody who comes and find out, are you okay? Yes. How are you holding up?
Because now you are a super mom. You've always been a super mom that everybody thinks you don't need that care.
I've been doing that to everybody. Everybody coughs. Everybody has a headache. Let me have a toothache. No one cares. Like, okay, you complain that you had a toothache, and life goes on. Life goes on. They will remember after 2 days, how is it going? And again, I'll be the one who will still remind them. And because I'm a mother. So it's really not a gender thing where it's because you are a man, because you are a woman. In this world, problems are just problems. Like, honestly, your concern is exactly the same concern that I'm having. And I'm a woman and a mother. Yes. So I'm that your mother that you are calling. Yeah. I hope she also calls you when she's also not feeling well.
Yeah, I hope. Yeah, I hope so. And that line got cut off there. I hope I'm also able to, and I've been that source of comfort for her as well. in the moment when she's needed. And I think I can confidently say that I have. Let's go to some WhatsApps.
Hi, Clement. It's Anonymous here in Midrand. I just want to highlight the Twopart system. So I also withdrew some money last year, and I bought myself a Toyota Taz cash, and I'm driving it every day. I really feel like I made the right decision, because what happened was last year my brother's car got into an accident and my car got into an accident. So now the entire family is relying on my Toyota Taz that I bought with money I withdrew from the Twopart system. So I'm literally using my money daily, taking the kids to school. So I really feel like if you're gonna withdraw, make sure that it's something that you're gonna find useful on a day-to-day basis or for the long term. Thank you. Anonymous in Midrand.
Thank you, Anonymous. Another one says, hi, Clement. I used my Twopart system to settle some of my debts to try free up some money in school fees. Now with a bit of rand, can try push the remaining debts. That's great. Thank you for that. Another one says, Clement, I'm intending to withdraw from the Twopart for the first time this year. I need it to cover some costs. I'm not balancing at the end of the month. Please keep me anonymous. Yeah, listen, Anonymous, as long as you're using it to try and offset costs, and it's not just for like fancy things that you don't necessarily need, because you still don't really want to find yourself in trouble when you retire, where you just don't have enough to sustain your lifestyle. It's going up to 11 before 10.
Your voice,
Your station.
your open line
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
on 702.
It's 9 minutes now before 10 o'clock.
No, Clem. I love you, my brother, but you need to man up. You really need to man up. And I'm telling you, it's not society doing anything. It's nature that intended that men must be strong and not show any sign of weakness. It's nature that intended that it's men that need to go there and go hunt with the lions and not yet there are women with them. So now when you're talking about you won't fight a snake, you will run with your women, with your woman, that's unnatural, There's something wrong there. Please.
So if a lion came in this studio, are you running or are you going to protect Zintle and Snaz? Like, if a lion came in here now, what do you do? Is your first instinct to run, or are you going there to protect them? You see, Abel says he protects himself. So, I'm sorry, if a lion comes in here now, I'm running. Unless I've got some extra, if I've got a gun, or then I'm going to try, okay, I've got something that I could use to protect other people. But I'm sorry, I'm out of this place, because I am also just as unequipped to fight a lion. So and of course it's a different thing if you've got kids around. I mean, kids are vulnerable, they're young. My first instinct, if I've got my kids there, is to, where are my kids? I'm protecting them first. But I'm just saying that this whole idea that, man up, we didn't go to wars. We didn't grow up during that time. That's a different generation to us. And we are, men are being beaten out there because they're acting like they're tough. You're in a restaurant there and you want to impress your date. You start a fight. Now you get embarrassed because they beat you up. No. What's wrong with us actually being calm? What's wrong with us actually avoiding physical violence? Some of us we tell our children, no, don't come back to me crying that someone beat you up. Go beat them back. I don't know. I don't know about that. I just think we're all human. And I'm not saying we're all the same. I mean, there are responsibilities that some women often take. There are responsibilities that some men often take. I'm not saying all of that needs to change. I'm just saying, just remember that the same men you want to be tough every day, every hour, every second, are the same men who also sometimes want to be weak. They do. Sometimes they just want to be human. They want to feel. Because unfortunately or fortunately, we are created. All of us have the same human experience. You've got a body, a spirit, and a soul. We're all feelers. We feel things. Like, we don't get an injection when we are born as men that, you're not going to be emotional. You're going to block your tears. I just want to be human. And that doesn't mean that my manhood is questioned or I'm less of a man, because I'm a human being that embraces my humanity in its fullness.
Hi, Clement. This is Anne. I agree with all the views that have been said this morning. However, I believe that God will protect you in your naiveness. I've raised my daughters that when you see something wrong, if you can, listen to your sixth sense, help that person. We've been that kind of a family. And I cannot recall any negative thing happening to us. My daughters have stopped for people whom we thought they were dangerous. They'll tell you, Mommy, I stopped and then I asked this person to look after my car. Because God protects you in your naiveness. The good that you give out, it comes back to you. And, we know that, South Africa is this way. But you've got to build positive vibes. And that's what I'm praying for, that, let's just look at it differently and maybe it will change. Thanks.
Yeah. Keleto in Germiston, hi.
Hi, Clem. How are you?
Good, brother. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. So thank you for this topic. It's almost prophetic because I was having the same conversation with my sister yesterday. And I was saying, after reading a post on Twitter to her, that men's happiness is not considered most of the time. But she actually made me aware that in many instances, even the experiences of women, are not considered, in that women forgo a lot in relationships. But I said to her, let's not invalidate each other's experiences. We both feel and we both know that both genders experience problems, but we need to face it head on. Don't invalidate the other's experience. Hear them out, both as men and as women, in relationships, at home, whether they are romantic or otherwise, because everyone needs care at the end of the day. But thank you so much for this topic.
Thank you, brother. Keleto in Germiston.
Morning, Clement. You know what? People can say as much as they want that you're a crybaby, but I don't think there's anyone that can ever take care of you as much as your own mother, let alone a father, but your own mother. There is nobody that can take you the same way in which your own mother can take care of you. My mother does the same thing. When I'm not okay, she's in another province. I'm in Gauteng, she's in Limpopo. Once she learns that I'm not fine, I'm not okay, every morning she'd send a WhatsApp before I can even wake up to ask me, how are you? Don't forget to take this and that. If you get a chance, go to the pharmacy. You can get this and that to help you with this. Mix this with that. There is no one in my life that does something of that sort for me. So let them carry on and call you a crybaby. It will not harm anything.
Shem. Nah, I'm a proud baby. I nearly said baby mama. I'm a proud mama's boy. Yeah, I'm a proud mama's boy. In fact, I tell people from the word go, if I'm going to be with you, you must know I am a mama's boy. I'm a proud crybaby. And you must know when I'm sick, you'd swear I've got 2 days left. Because, get there, but I just want to be cared for, guys. It's 2 minutes before 10.